Hello. Welcome to All Hands on Deck. Apologies for my absence over the last few weeks. Work's been really busy, and then unfortunately I was really unwell. Had a horrific ear infection, which knocked me for 6, really high fevers, that sort of stuff. And I've kind of got it in the next ear now. So yeah, that knocked me for 6 for a while. So, but that actually inspired me in terms of what I want to talk to you guys about today. So when I was unwell, I tried to treat it myself, did the usual things, but I knew deep down it had been too far gone. And because of moving, I wasn't registered, and how I feel, wasn't registered with the GP. So what I did was I took myself off to A&E because I'd had 3 days of like really high fevers and in so much pain, couldn't hear anything, etc. And I thought, blow it, going to go to A&E. So I did. And it took a while to be seen, but once I was seen, it moved quite quickly. The staff were really nice. There were no signs of masks, no mentions of, anything there. So I then met with one of the more junior doctors. I don't think he was an actual junior doctor, who was very gentle, did an examination and so forth, and then went and got one of the senior consultants because they said visually it looks like it's had a chemical burn. It was in a really bad state, to be honest. And they were very efficient in terms of, they gave me drops for the ear. They put this, what they call tiny tampon in the ear, so they could open up enough that it could absorb the drops. And were very gentle, very nice, very kind. And and then put me on antibiotics and so forth. And then literally 2 days later, I got a phone call from the ENT specialist at the hospital saying, right, one of my consultants is concerned about your ear. Can you come down and see me? And I had that Friday. And again, he was great. Absolutely fantastic. And it inspired me to have a chat with everyone about things not being black and white. One of the risks we have within the movement is everyone sees things as either good or bad. And I get that. You're either good or evil. And I can see how people feel that way. But what we need to remember is there is black and there is white. And there's a gazillion shades of grey in the middle. And what we run the risk of doing is actually almost ostracizing the majority of people across the UK for having an opinion they don't even know they really have, or don't fully understand that they have. So these doctors, for example, I sort of mentioned that with my work, I'm helping support the vaccine injured, and they sort of was nodding, going, okay. And you could see they didn't want to pass a judgment. Now, it made me think, they wouldn't have given out jabs. They wouldn't have been pushing jabs, I doubt, because of the position that they are in within A&E. But even if they did know the jabs were a problem, why would they actually leave their role when they probably started working within healthcare to help people? So why wouldn't they want to stay there and help support people? What we actually do need to speak to them about is having a voice, speaking out. But I don't think we can criticise them for just being doctors who don't work with anything to do with jabs or anything else, when they clearly understood what I was saying and looked lost. If I'm honest, they looked lost. So a lot of these guys, it's almost like they've sussed out something's wrong, but they don't quite know what to do. And because they've had so much propaganda thrown at them, and because of the environment that's been generated by the senior managers that you can't speak out, they're probably trying to find a way with which to do the right thing. And I think it's up to us to keep an open mind and help them through. But it shows with everything. Like, we've had this Russell Brand thing. I mean, my personal opinion is, I think he's genuine now. I think, like many, he's made mistakes. You've got those who've been awake for donkey's years and have the integrity that we'd like to see and so forth. Then we've got those who are on their journey and they're aware of some things but not aware of others. And they don't know that they're not aware of other things. And then we've got those who are just kind of waking up, trying to find their way, overwhelmed. You know what it looks like. And so probably aren't taking action because at the moment they're just still shell-shocked by where they're at. And actually, I think it's up for us to show the compassion and the empathy to understand that it isn't just black and white. There are a gazillion shades of grey. And we're actually going to need these people to build the new and to move forward. We're all going to be needed. And so really what we should be doing is throwing our energy of negativity, if we want that, towards the ones that have caused this to happen. The ones that knowingly stepped into a space where they were going to cause harm to others. And that isn't 99% of the doctors and nurses out there. That isn't 99% of the people out there who have got caught up in the narrative. And I think it'd do us well to remember that all those gazillion shades of grey, yeah, you can bet your bottom dollar a huge percentage of them are going to move over to the side of good when they understand what's happened. But at the moment, we're so small-minded within the movement to think, right, well, they did that sign, or they've got some sort of tattoo. Clearly, they're Illuminati. Get a grip, peeps. Let's get a grip, because if we are just going to be so narrow-minded that we see things as only black and white, we're going to make the life moving forward very, very difficult for ourselves. So I think what I wanted to raise today was for people to sort of understand that we need to encourage each other to look at the shades of grey and to understand and be empathetic as towards where people are coming from. Those doctors, I could just see it in their face. You could see them thinking, I think I realise that now. But that, I think they probably only just realised. I don't think it's something they've known from the start by any stretch of the imagination. And we'd be foolish to push back at every single doctor and nurse when a lot of them are probably like, okay, I realise something's wrong now, so what do I do? Can I talk to my colleagues about it? Can I not? Okay, I'm going to start talking to my colleagues. If you don't think it takes time to build up the kahunas to do something, then you're mistaken, because it does take, that is human nature, particularly in an environment that's been fostered like it has within the NHS. And it isn't just the NHS. Look at teachers. Do you think when they find out what's happened, they're not going to feel guilt? Of course they're going to feel guilt. But what are they going to do? Suddenly stop being teachers? When they want to stay there and actually help kids through it? So let's put aside the mindset. It's purely black and white. It's purely good and evil. We can say that about those who should be in the know, like the senior managers at the NHS, like the government ministers, like the Kwangos and other civil servants, for sure. But to your average day-to-day person, be it a doctor, a nurse, be it a teacher, be it whatever, even the police to a degree, I think we need to remember that there's so many within those 50 shades of grey, those gazillion shades of grey, that we need to be the ones to help them through it, to help them realise. Now, how do we do that? Well, I've been thinking about that. Something I'm going to do personally is start, once I've got some free time, hanging around outside GP surgeries and outside hospitals with maybe a questionnaire with a t-shirt on that makes it obvious what my stance is in terms of the vaccine, and just ask the gentle question: how have you felt since having the jab? Are you aware that it's an mRNA technology? Have you been feeling a little bit rubbishy? Do you know there's protocols out there to help, impact on the jab issues? And start talking to people face to face, whether it be the general public or whether it be healthcare workers or whomever it may be that's there. And start asking the question and dealing with it on an individual level. Because at the moment it seems mammoth, because we want to sort of speak to every member of staff of this, of every member of staff of that. Actually, if we all broke it down and did our bit at a local level, again, back to community, back to local level, then it's far more easy to manage. So that's what I'm going to be doing with some of my time. I'm going to be speaking to these people and trusting in the fact that actually they're probably very good at their core. And are they aware? Do they know there's the resources? Are they aware of what's been going on? And if they are aware, but they don't know which way to turn, hey, you're not alone. We can help you with that. There's others that can help you with that. We can connect you with others in a similar position. So what I'm asking today is if everyone could just try and retain a broad mindset, if we could try and retain our empathy and ensure that we realise people are human. And as long as there was no knowingly, they did not know what was taking place at the offset, then to me, they're relatively innocent. Yeah, okay, it's annoying and it shows some ignorance, and these people aren't, some of them the kings of Sheba that they thought they'd be, but at the bottom line is the majority of them are going to be decent human beings, and we need to make sure we recognise that. So not everything's black and white. So like with Russell Brand, for example, this weekend, I think he probably was a bit of a twat. I think he got caught up with his own ego and his own, world. I think he's probably on the right track now. I think there's lots he still doesn't know, but I don't think he's a bad person. And I certainly think the media and that are going after him. I'm not a lover or a hater of Brand either way, whatevs. I've never been particularly massively interested, but he's done an incredible job of waking people up. So again, I'm not going to sit here and pass judgment on somebody I've never spoken to. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he is this or he is that. We don't effing know. Let's stop kidding ourselves. We know what's black and white. We don't. There's a lot of grey area, and we've got to be a bit quicker off the mark in making sure we don't make judgments and others don't make judgments on things that we don't understand. It will all come out in the wash. Things will become obvious. But for now, let's focus on understanding that there's so many out there who are very much in the grey area, and it's up for us to grab them by the hand and help them move through to the light. So let's try and just retain that for now and understand that we've got a role to play, all of us. And if that's helping others out of the grey, then so be it. Anyway, I'll be back to normal now, hopefully. And I hope everyone has a fantastic week, and keep going. We're getting there. You can see it happening. It's keep going. And yeah, God bless and lots of love.